Welcome back to Soundscape, where we explore the stories behind the songs that stayed with us long after the music stopped. Today, we're rediving into one of the most powerful and misunderstood love songs ever recorded. Whitney Houston's iconic performance of "I Will Always Love You." Before or even after watching this video, I really encourage you to go listen to the song, because once you know its true story, I promise you, every single note will feel completely different. Now, here is something that surprises a lot of people. "I Will Always Love You" was not originally a Whitney Houston song. It was written and recorded almost 2 decades earlier in 1973 by the one and only Dolly Parton. But here's the bigger twist. Dolly didn't write it as a romantic love song. She wrote it as a professional farewell. It was a graceful, heartfelt goodbye to her longtime mentor and business partner, Porter Wagoner. At the time, she was ready to leave his show and start her solo career, but he wasn't ready to let her go. The relationship had become strained and difficult. So she did what she does best. She wrote a song. She walked into his office the next day, sat him down and sang it to him. He was in tears. He told her it was the most beautiful song he'd ever heard and that she could go, as long as he could produce that record. It was a song about choosing to leave, but without bitterness or anger. It was about loving someone enough to walk away, while still wishing them nothing but the best. Dolly's version is tender, almost like a country lullaby. It's a quiet promise filled with sincerity and respect. Fast forward nearly 20 years to 1992. The song is about to find a completely new life, a new voice, and a global audience. Whitney Houston was starring in the movie The Bodyguard alongside Kevin Costner. They needed a signature song for the film, and initially the plan was to cover a different track, "What Becomes of the Broken-Hearted." But when they found out that song was being used in another movie, Kevin Costner himself suggested, "I Will Always Love You." He had heard a version by Linda Ronstadt and thought it would be perfect. The film's producer, David Foster, was skeptical at first. He found the song a bit simple, a bit too country. But Whitney and Kevin were convinced. So David Foster went to work rearranging it, turning Dolly Parton's gentle country farewell into a soul and R&B powerhouse. He added that now famous dramatic drum beat right after the quiet opening, creating a moment of pure musical shock and awe. But the real magic happened when Whitney stepped up to the microphone. Let's talk about that legendary a cappella opening. In a world of overproduced pop, starting a massive ballad with complete silence was a revolutionary choice. That quiet, unaccompanied vocal wasn't just a stylistic flair, it was a deliberate act of storytelling. It forces you to stop what you're doing and just listen. Whitney doesn't rush the emotion. She lets the words hang in the air, each one delivered with a soft, controlled vulnerability. "If I should stay, I would only be in your way." It's sung almost like a whisper, a personal confession. It's not a plea for someone to stay, and it's not a demand to be loved. It's a statement of fact, delivered with heartbreaking clarity. This restraint is what makes the rest of the song so incredibly powerful. She builds the emotional tension so slowly, so masterfully, that when the music finally swells and her voice soars into that explosive chorus, it doesn't feel forced. It feels earned. That iconic vocal explosion isn't just about showing off her incredible range. It's about emotional release. It's the sound of a heart breaking and letting go all at once. Whitney Houston's version completely transformed the song's identity. It went from a personal, gentle farewell to a universal anthem of profound love and loss. Her performance taught the world a few things. First, it showed that true love can exist even when people have to part ways. It's not always about a happy ending. Sometimes it's about a dignified one. Second, it proved that strength and vulnerability are not opposites. They can live together in the very same breath, in the very same note. Whitney's voice is impossibly strong, yet it carries so much fragility. And finally, she showed us that a truly great singer doesn't just perform a song, they become it. She inhabited those lyrics, pouring her own soul into them, until the song belonged to her as much as it did to Dolly. The result? The song became a global phenomenon. It topped the charts in virtually every country, stayed at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for a then record-breaking 14 weeks, and remains one of the best-selling singles of all time by a female artist. But let's dig into the deeper meaning, because this is where the song is most often misunderstood. Despite being a staple at weddings and a go-to for romantic Valentine's Day playlists, I Will Always Love You is fundamentally a breakup song. It's not about holding on, it's about the strength it takes to let go. Think about the lyrics. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. It's an acceptance of an ending. The song champions a radical idea, choosing love over resentment, memory over anger, and profound respect over regret. It's the ultimate expression of loving someone so selflessly that you are willing to remove yourself from their life if you believe it is what is best for them. That is a far more complex and mature form of love than simple romantic passion. It's a love that transcends possession. The legacy of Whitney's performance is immeasurable. It set a new gold standard for vocal storytelling in popular music. Singers who came after her weren't just judged on how high they could sing, but on their ability to convey emotion with the same level of nuance. It wasn't just about the power notes. It was about the quiet moments in between. It was about when she chose to sing softly, when she chose to pause, when she chose to let the silence speak. Decades later, that a cappella opening still has the power to command a room, to silence a crowd, and to draw you into its story. It's a masterclass in musical tension and release. And Dolly Parton herself has always been its biggest fan, often joking that she made more money from Whitney's version than any of her other songs, and expressing gratitude for how Whitney took her little song and made it a global treasure. So what is the ultimate message we can take from I Will Always Love You? It reminds us that sometimes the strongest and most sincere form of love isn't the one that holds on tighter. It's the one that has the courage, the grace, and the dignity to know when it's time to say goodbye. It's a farewell filled not with sorrow, but with an enduring, unconditional love that will indeed last always. Now that you know the full story, from Dolly's professional goodbye to Whitney's soulful anthem, I want you to listen to I Will Always Love You again. Hear it not just as a beautiful love song, but as a powerful story of letting go with grace. What does this song mean to you? Have you ever had to let go of someone you still loved? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your perspective makes this community so special. And if you enjoyed diving into the story behind the music, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Stay right here on Soundscape, where music always meets meaning. Thanks for watching.